Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Fiume, here live at the IFA 2024 National Convention, and looking forward to interviewing some folks at this year's event. I've got Scott McDaniel from Logiscool. Scott, how are you?
Doing quite well, thank you.
So tell me, what is Logiscool, and what do you guys do?
Where are we?
Where are you guys? What do you guys do?
Well, you've probably heard of Code Ninjas, which is America's big children's coding concept. Well, we're Europe's big coding concept for children. So we're a European company. We're based in Europe, and it's our objective to finally come over here and start moving across the U.S. market as well.
Nice. So what makes you guys a little different from some of the other coding schools out there?
We own our own IP. And most of the coding schools are simply using content or product that is out in the open market source. We saw some big gaps in that, and so therefore we tried to address those gaps by creating our own IP. And it gives us a lot more control than the competitors do.
Nice. So we're here at the IFA. What do you think so far? And are you new to the IFA?
Second time, actually. Came last year as well, so this is the second time. Not as fun as Vegas, but still a reasonably good time.
Well, the fact that it's not in Vegas forces everybody to kind of be at the convention, right? Because Vegas has got a lot of distractions and a lot of stuff to do. But we're going to be there actually next year, next few years, from what I understand.
Correct.
Yeah.
But as I said, not as fun. So yes, you're correct.
So Scott, let me ask you. You saw Dion talk yesterday at the keynote. And he talked about what his rabbit is. Have you thought about what is your why? What is your rabbit?
Me personally, or our company?
You.
Me personally. Well, for almost my entire career, I've worked in education concepts, half of that with children concepts, and I'm actually a dad now. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Congrats.
So my why originally was sort of education without maybe a reason why, whereas now I actually have a reason and an understanding of why parents actually care about education for their children. So my why is to provide for my family, but also to do that through a business that provides for lots of other children as well.
That's sweet. That's the power of franchising, man, right?
If you can scale it, why not?
Yep, true. So if I was an aspiring franchisor, is there a piece of advice that you'd give me?
Tread carefully when you go internationally. Tread very carefully.
Yeah. I think some people, they go into international waters too soon. Would you find that that's obviously a big challenge, because you also have to know the culture, and there's just so many more ramifications when you go international, right?
That, and there's usually a lot more costs than you would expect. And so unless you're quite successfully profitable in your domestic market, regardless of what that domestic market is globally, just be careful when you start stepping into the international markets. It always costs more money than you expect.
Great advice, Scott. Thanks so much for being on.
Certainly. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands Podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fiume, or Emerging Franchise Group, LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.